Hi everyone, it's Miriam, and I'm going to start some flower seeds, and so I wanted to do a quick video to show you some starting. First of all, I am using new trays this year, which is unusual for me. I usually reuse, but last year I had some problems with damping off, even though I had rinsed all my containers with bleach. I just didn't want to take that chance this year. So I am using these. I got them at the end of the season last year, Burpee. I'm going to start one of these for y'all today. It's a 10 spot, I'll say. And these are new to me from Burpee. So they have these pellets, which I like, which when you hydrate become these little pots. And this is a self-watering tray, and I'm not yet sure what I think of this. This is the first time that I've used this. It's deeper. It has this particular item that you're supposed to completely saturate with warm water, then put over these ridges, and then the pellets go on top. So we're going to see how that goes. I got several of these at the end of the season last year. They come in a lot of different sizes. There's this 36 cell one and a 72 cell one. And I already started a 72 cell one. It's over there on the shelf, and they're a little bit different from this 10 cell one. And I learned a couple of things. So I just want to quickly show you on this 36 cell one because it's easy to open. Instead of the pellets like in the 10 cell one, there are these kinds of pellets. And in the one that I tried, I was actually a little bit concerned because the online reviews talked about how much starting mix this didn't make. A lot of the reviewers were unhappy with the quantity and they had to add their own. But what I found in the one that I already started was that they must have corrected the problem from the reviews because these made ample starting mix. What I did notice is that before you add the water to get them going, you want them to be facing, like to have a flat bottom, not a curve on the bottom of the cell. So, and they work the same way in that they have a little razor that the black watering pad goes on, and anyway, we'll see how that goes. The other thing that I liked about them is that they had these planting maps, and I like that. It's always good to try to remember what you've planted. So I'm in zone 5, and it's very early to be starting things to go outside, but I wanted to have some plants that were a couple inches high to give as gifts on April 1st. And so I've already started some flowers, and in this process I'm going to be starting this Envy Zinnia, and I fell in love with this. It's a green flower. The package calls it chartreuse, and I really liked that because it reminded me in that thing you do when Mr. White said to Guy that Diane Dane would be absolutely chartreuse with envy. So we're going to plant one row of those. And then this is new to me, and this is from Botanical Interests. And this one is called Linaria. Fairy Bouquet is the variety. And the blossoms just look really sweet to me. It is an annual. It can do well in full sun or a little bit of shade. And what really drew me to this was the butterfly on the package, and on the back of the package it talks about how this particular flower attracts butterflies. So we're going to start with the Burpee Zinnia Envy, and I'm really just, the planting depth is 1/4 inch, so I'm just going to drop a couple of the seeds into each one of those holes and then kind of fluff that potting mix over it. Couple of seeds in. And I tend to plant a little bit heavy because I can trim out anything that might need, you know, if more than one seed germinates. So I'm really putting in about about 3 seeds in each one of these little pots. I have a little bit left. I'm going to drop those in and tuck that around. And you can use your fingers. I really like a chopstick. You could also use a fork or like a real live gardening tool of some sort to just fluff this mix around. And I'm not tamping it or packing it. I'm really just covering the seeds. And it's important when you're starting seeds that that you use a seed starting mix. I made the mistake one year of just using potting soil, and it was okay, but it wasn't great because the soil can be too heavy when you think about what all that goodie in the seed has to do to bust that shell and make its way to the surface. You don't want it too heavy. It needs to be light. Next, the Linaria, the package says that you plant a pinch of seeds every 4 inches, or in this case in my pot, and the seed depth on this one just says surface, so I'm not going to cover these up. So I'm going to just pour a few in my hand and a little pinch. These are itty bitty seeds. And I'm not going to cover them up. And then I just put this plastic dome on, and it'll go out under the shelf here. I will use a heat source because it's still a little bit cool here in zone 5. The only other thing that I'm probably going to plant today, and I'll probably do another one about this size, are some marigolds from my marigolds last year, because marigolds are so easy, first of all, to grow, and they look so pretty. I'm going to move that just to the side. They reseed themselves generally where you put them, so it's important to put them where you would like them to be. But this was one blossom, and look at all of those seeds from one plant. They're so prolific that way. I do like them in the garden because a lot of the ground squirrels and such don't like the smell of marigolds, so they stay away where I put them. Plus they're gorgeous. They're beautiful when they're all in bloom, and they fill out so lovely, and the bees love them. So I'm going to plant a few of those. So what we did today, right now, was this Linaria. Again, I've not grown this. This is the first time I've seen it, and one of the things I love about botanical interests is how pretty the packaging is. On the back, there's a ton of information. There's a little cutout that you can put on your marker, and on the inside, and I'm not sure that you can see that, there's a lot more information about whatever is in the packet. And our chartreuse, zinnias from Burpee, and I'm probably not going to put a marker on these to tell me which is which, because I know what zinnias look like, so I'll be able to recognize those as they sprout. But otherwise you could put, I usually use a popsicle stick that has a notation on it. So that's what I'm doing now. Mid-March, I'll probably start the eggplants and the peppers, maybe the second week of March, and the third week of March I'll be starting all my tomatoes. So if you've got questions or a certain flower that you love to grow, please leave me a comment, and thank you for watching my video.